Like social media is about aesthetic sometimes. So a lot of times people don't be wanting to post every day. So you gotta work around that. So now it's like you could post reels without posting it on your page. Gotcha. So like you could have your reels flooded. Yeah. You know, with content every day and testing out different things. That's what we're doing currently. And you can still have your page looking great, you know, but you could use, and then TikTok, oh, you should just flood that like, and then use different like things like that's relevant to be able to like get people to engage. It was the thing we did with the jerseys. We was like, we dropping $5.99 jerseys. It was like $5.99. And then I was like, I commented on it and pinned a comment and was like, oh, it's a typo. $59.99. I ain't mean to do that. Yeah. But in reality, it was just, you know, putting some personality in it. People like when we do some funny things, but also I was already letting them know the price before we drop so they can already know what they're getting themselves into. So like you gotta just find different things to do to just get your audience engaged. Yeah. But I definitely think that we gotta keep in mind like people that have like wild successful drops, like 9 times out of 10 have an audience present. So like we gotta understand how, like, y'all watch Shark Tank? Yes. Everybody hate Kevin O'Leary, but I like him because the thing that he talk about is customer acquisition costs. Like, what is your customer acquisition cost? If you know how much it costs to acquire a customer, like you should just like it was like when we did the math, it was like $18 to acquire a customer, right? I might lose $2, you know, to acquire a customer, but then every customer that we acquire, the average spend like with us is $180. So I know if I'm acquiring them at $18, I know they're gonna come back and spend $180 with me over a lifetime. Not to say the people who keep buying. Yeah. So if you know your customer acquisition costs, that's when you're gonna start to understand how much money you need to be investing. Because if it costs $18 to acquire a customer, then that means I need to spend as many $18 as possible, and then do like Karen O'Leary said, how do we get that cost down?
Getting to the money is like when you're going down is like really understanding your business. Yes. And understanding your business where like you actually know it, like how much product costs, you know, like he was saying, because you need to make decisions based off of the data inside of your company. Similar to like we just talked about, having data to get them to actually spend money with you, you need to make your company decisions based off the data that you currently getting. And that's how we know how to make better decisions inside of our company, because we looking at the data that we provide ourselves. Like some clothing brands don't know they don't know their margins. A lot of us, we don't even have our books in order. Like we really don't even know how much we even made nor spent. To be real, like so, it's like things like that. Like we think about having a brand and just making money. And we used to, you know, go on the flip side of it because Nick used to always argue the fact of a brand is about, you know, design, which it is. But at a certain point, like, it's about like systems and like getting the delivery, and we're providing a world-class experience. Like he's saying, like running your business like a world-class organization. Like that's what a brand actually is.
I got a question. Because I know we use Shopify. Obviously, they should be sponsoring this episode since I mentioned them. But do y'all use the cost per item? Like, do y'all actually put y'all costs in? Like, you could edit the product where it say like cost per item. So like you put your cost per item, and then now you could integrate your Shopify with like an app called like Triple Well. Y'all ever heard of that? Yeah. So like then now that you got all of your numbers intact, you could start actually seeing like your net profit based on everything that you. It's so like you gotta go deeper into the numbers. So what we do is we use that software, and then we have our ads set up with it. So every day we able to look at our net profit. Yeah. So anytime we run any type of sales or promotion, like we know what the net profit is, and then now we know if that's a successful campaign or not. So then we could take that one campaign and we could continuously do that same campaign, but we'll use different languages. Yeah. So like I would strongly recommend going to your Shopify account and make sure you putting your cost per item inside of the, so whenever you integrating it with other softwares, you actually know what is the profit.
With your clothing brand, right? Because essentially you want to already position yourself in front of people who are already looking for what you're selling. Yeah. Like with sales, to be a great salesman, it's not really pressure selling. It's like, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. You want to figure out what people want. What are they looking for in this moment? So that goes back to when I was saying, find out what Jordans are coming out in the next couple of months and get make your clothing to match those. Because once they have the shoes, they're looking for an outfit. So that's what I mean by positioning yourself in front of people who are already looking for what you're selling. So one of the reasons why I even got my mall location is because that's my cold traffic. And those are the people, every time when they meet me in the mall, they see it, they like it. Even if they don't buy today, follow me on Instagram. They follow me on Instagram. Now they're seeing me post every single day. Now when they see something that matches the shoes that they have, they're going to go ahead. Oh, let me click on the website. Let me see how much it is. And I'm also getting feedback on what they like, what they don't like about my clothes. And once you are making something and you know exactly what your customer wants, then from there it kind of becomes like automation at that point, where it's just like, all right, I know they like this. Let's switch up the colors and eventually you're gonna strike gold. It's gonna be at one product that sells really good for you and is gonna be your moneymaker. Don't change up from that. Once you strike gold, double up on it, triple up on it, and just keep pushing. Because a lot of things, I mean, and he touched on it earlier, is like we find something that's working and we're making money from it, and then we divert and try to do something new. You shouldn't do that. About at least 65% should be you just changing up the color on what's already working, and then about 30% of your product should be you experimenting on something new. But it's going to take a while. So I'm going to say this, and I might say it 3 more times today. The clothing brand business is a patience game. Yeah. And you have to figure out what's that product that's the strike gold product. We talked about denim tears. Denim tears selling the same thing, which they made millions of dollars off of. V-Loan, it's the one product that they made millions of dollars off of. True Religion, it's that one product that they're making millions of dollars off of. Even a Chanel bag, I think that's their most highest revenue generating product. But once you find out what that is, which is going to take time to be able to figure it out, keep pushing that and push it out to different influencers. You've got to post content in it every day and figure out different creative ways to be able to do it. Let me give you one hack. So one hack that I do is I create a totally separate Instagram. And on this Instagram page, I follow all the clothing brands that I like. Every single clothing brand that I like personally, that I can see myself closely relating to. Because at that point, what you're doing is tricking the algorithm to where now, instead of you seeing naked girls on Instagram all day, you're only seeing clothing brand content. You're seeing streetwear content. So now you're seeing what other people are posting. And typically, you can look at people's engagement. What video has the most likes? What video has the most views? That's telling you what's working for them. And you want to try to mimic that and create content just like that. But all of that comes after you find out the product that strike gold.
One of the things that I've seen like on TikTok recently is this girl. She has like the Chicago Hottie shirts, and it's literally just a text base. And so like all of the girls with who's going to Megan Thee Stallion tour, they're like asking like, oh, put like Atlanta hotties or Houston hotties, like put all of that stuff. And she could have capitalized off of that in the best way possible because it was spoken about all over on TikTok. But instead she was like, I'm not doing it. Like y'all can make y'all own shirts. So how you said like you design based off of what you see in the analytics, like how do you go about continuing to produce what the client is asking for?
I feel like that's good for her branding too. Like because like at the same time, like we are in the business of like sometimes people I would say sometimes people don't want what other people have, but ultimately what other people is buying makes other people want to buy it too, if that makes sense. But I would say that's a good form of staying on brand. And that's a good form of like building up more hype for other stuff that you release. Because it's almost like a negative into a positive. It's almost like, nah, I ain't doing this. And it's just building up more hype, more demand, more eyes because you telling me about it, more ears hearing it. So I would say if something like that was to come about, like inside of your business, I would say it is times that you do have to draw the line and say, I'm staying on brand because I know that this is going to be a bigger payout in the long run. So I would say that what she did, and you just telling me about it. It's just me learning about it for the first time in my life. But I would say now you can use that engagement and you can use that storytelling to build up your next release. So always you don't have to just be like, all right, I'm doing this because y'all said do it. Because in reality, everybody gonna tell you what you think you should be doing when they don't know your business at all. You can't have somebody knowing your business more than you know the business because then you wouldn't even be in business. You see what I'm saying? So I would say, like, find those things to actually stay on brand, because that really make your conversion go up tremendously the next time around you do a release or do a drop. That, you know, it build community. Put it like that. Sure. Yeah. So I would say you don't have to, everything that get engagement, you don't have to be like, oh, I'm gonna just go do it for the money.